Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute orange earring. So this is what it looks like. So you've got these two oranges and then like a vine of leaves. So to make the earrings you're going to need some size 11 seed beads in orange and green. And then you're going to need your earring hooks. I'm just using these kind. Beading needle, this is a size 12 beading needle, and your thread. I'm using 6 pound fire line for this. And that's everything, so let's get started. So once you've threaded your needle onto your thread, the first thing you're going to do is pick up 6 of your orange beads. And then you're going to slide those down onto the thread. Slide them down until you've got about 5 or 6 inches left here at the end. And then you're going to go up through that first bead. That's going to bring them into a circle of 6 like this. So from each of those 6 beads we're going to create another circle of 6, and they're each going to share the first bead in each one. So that'll become clear as we go along. So starting with this first one here, you're going to pick up 5 of your orange beads. And going back into that one that you're coming out of on the opposite side and through the next one in that circle. So we have this. So now this circle that we create is going to also share the first bead here from that previous circle. So we only need to pick up 4 beads this time. And like I said, you're going to go down through this first bead in that previous circle, back through the one you're coming out of, and through the next one in that original circle. Pull that through, and you should have this, and we're going to do the same again. So picking up 4, going down through that first bead there in the previous circle, back through the one we're coming out of, and into the next one in that original circle. Okay, do that again, pick up 4, down through the previous, the bead in the previous circle, through the one we're coming out of, and through the next one in that original circle. Don't forget while you're going along here to keep your tail thread pulled nice and tight so that original circle there doesn't loosen. Okay, again picking up 4, same thing again, through that last bead in the previous circle, back through the one that we're coming out of, and into the next bead in the circle. So we have this. Now this is the last bead in the circle that hasn't got the group of 6 attached, and so this time we're going to share a bead from both this circle and this one. So we're coming out of here, you're going to move up through the first bead in this first little extra circle that we added. So move up through just that first bead. So now you're coming out of there. Now, because we've already got 1, 2, 3, we're only going to pick up 3 this time to create the 6. So going down through the last bead in that previous circle, across through the one in the main original circle, and if you can at the same time back up through that one that you're coming out of. So this is what you have, and we're coming out here. So from there where you're coming out of, so we're in this little circle here, going to move up through 2, so we're coming out the middle bead at the top of that circle. And from there, we're going to start creating groups of 4. So what you might want to start to do is encourage it to curve up a little bit like that. And you're going to pick up 3 and going back into that bead that you're coming out of, but on the opposite side. So you have this. And now you're going to move across so that you're coming out of the middle bead at the top of the next circle. So from here, I'm going to move through 1, 2, 3 beads to get to there. So just make sure this is the next of that group of 6. You're coming out the middle bead at the top of that. So pick up 2 this time. And this time you're going to share that last bead on that previous group of 4 that we created. So go down through that and back through the one that you're coming out of. And it looks like it's too far, but when you pull it tight at the end, it's all going to start to close up into a circle. So pull that through, and you should have this. And then you need to move around to the middle bead at the top of the next circle. So I'm coming out of here, I'm going to move through 1, 2, 3. And do the same, picking up 2, coming right round to this last group of 4 that we created, going down through that one on the side and back through the one that I'm coming out of. That's why it's good to start to encourage it to curve up a little bit. So we have this, and then move around through 3 beads so you're in the position to add the next one. And do the same again, so pick up 2, go down through the bead on the side of that last group of 4 that you created and back through the one that you're coming out of. And move through 3. So you're in position to add your next one. Same again, picking up 2. Down through the side bead on that previous group of 4 that you created and through the bead that you're coming out of. And move along through 3. Okay, so we're here and this is the last one. So this time, again, like we did on the very below, we're going to share beads from either side. So I'm coming out here. Here you can see this is the very first little group of 4 we created. So you're going to go up through that side bead there. And then you're just going to need to pick up 1 this time, and moving back round to this last group of 4 that you created, I can't say that word properly today. You're going to go down through the one on the side. Okay, so we have this, and you want to go back through the one in the center of that group of 6. So it's the one that your thread, if you can see there, if you leave it loose, your thread's creating this circle. You need to go back through there to finish that circle. And then you can pull it really tight. You should have something a bit like this. From here, we're going to move up through the one on the side. And across through the first one we come to on the top. So now all that's left to do is to circle through the 6 beads you have on the top here. So it's all the beads that are at the tops of those groups of 4s that you created. Just circling through those a couple of times to bring that circle at the top together. And once you've done that, you can pull it tight, and this is what you have. So this is one of our little oranges. So what we're going to do now is create a little leaf on the top. So first things first, switch into our green beads, picking up 1 green. So we've got our little circle of 6 here on the top. I'm coming out of this one here, so whichever one you're coming out of, you want to count around 3. And you want to go through that 3rd bead in the same direction that your thread's coming out of this one. So mine's coming out this way, so I'm going to go through it so that my thread is going to be coming out the same way, if that makes sense. So we have this. Now you're going to go back into that bead, pull it down, just push it back down into place like that. and you're going to go back into the bead that it's connected to on this side, which is here, but we're already connected on that side, so you're going to go back into it on the other side, and that's just going to make it really stable in the center. And pull it tight. So we're going to add a little leaf on here. So what you're going to do is go back into that green bead from where you are. And then you're going to pick up 5 green. And go into the bead on the other side. So we have this. Now you're going to go down through the first 2 of those green beads in the leaf. Then you're going to skip the third one and go down through the other 2. And what that's going to do is, when you pull it tight, let me just see if I can show you. I'm going to pull that tight. Make sure that the little thread pops underneath, and it should just make that bead sit like out on the end, like in a leaf shape like that. So just pull that tight, and you have this. I'm going to move back through the green bead, and that's our first little orange done. So we're going to actually cut the threads on this one. So I'm going to move down into the orange a little bit. I'm just moving my thread down until I'm towards the bottom side of the orange, so it's not as visible. Okay, and then when you get into a position to tie your knot, you're going to take your needle. So I'm coming out of this bead, you're going to take your needle under the thread here that connects it to the next bead. Pull that through all the way to get a small loop, and go through that loop, 2 times. I can't do it. Pull it down until the knot tightens. And at the minute you can see that knot, so I'm going to move through a few beads, pull it really tight, and the knot disappears inside one of the beads. And then tie a couple of knots, just a couple, and then thread your needle onto your tail thread and tie some knots, and then you can cut both threads off of this. And then what you need to do is go back to the start and make another one exactly the same. This time you need to stop before you cut your threads off, and then I'll show you how to attach them both together. Okay, so then once you've made both your oranges, this is what you should have. You should have one here with your working thread still attached. I've actually cut off my tail thread just so that it doesn't get in the way, so you can go ahead and do that if you want. And then attached my needle back onto this one. So what you're going to do, coming out of here at the top, this top green bead, you're going to pick up 4 of your green beads and slide those all the way down onto your thread until it meets the orange. So all the way down like that, and then just kind of holding them in place while you pick up more beads. Then you're going to pick up 7 of your green beads, and you're going to go back through that last bead that you added from bottom to top, so it creates this circle of beads. And then just make sure you pull that all the way down so there's not a gap, just using your thumb and finger to push it down. Then once you've done that, you're going to move through the first 3 beads in that circle you just created. So here we're making another leaf like we did before, but it's just a little bit bigger. Then again, like we did on the other leaf, you're going to skip that next bead and go through the remaining 3 beads in that circle. And then pull it through and allow that thread to pop underneath that bead on the end, and it should stick out like that. Then you're going to move back into that top bead on that of those 4 that you added when you started the vine, so you should be here. So now this time you're going to pick up 2 green beads and slide those all the way down to meet the others, and then we're going to add another leaf. So make sure they're slid all the way down, and then pick up another 7 of your green beads, and we're just going to make a leaf in the same way again. So going up through that top bead on your vine, pull that down, and again just make sure before you carry on that that's pushed all the way down so you've not got loose thread. and then you're going to move through the first 3 beads in that circle. Again, skipping the 4th bead and going down through the final 3 beads, or across through the final 3 beads, making sure that end bead pops out with the thread underneath it, and then back up through that top bead on the vine. Pull that nice and tight, make sure it's all pushed down where it should be, and you should have this. So now we're actually going to add our second orange, so go ahead and pick that up, and you want to pick it up using that top green bead that we added in the centre of the orange, and slide it all the way down till it meets the end of the vine, like that. So just make sure that's slid all the way down and hold it in place. So then what you're going to do is move through the first bead in the leaf of that orange that we added, and then we're going to add some more of the vine. So this time you're going to pick up 4 of your green beads again, and again, like always, you're going to slide those all the way down and just make sure everything is pushed right down. Now we're going to create this little loop at the top, and you're going to pick up 5 of your green beads for that. And also onto that needle you're going to pick up your earring hook as well, and then picking back up the piece, making sure it's all slid right down, going up through that last bead on the vine. Pull that all through to create the circle, pull it really tight and make sure it's all moved as closely together as you can. So I'm just sliding it down using my thumb and finger, and then I'm going to circle through those beads again, so through all 5 and also through the earring hook as well. So I'm coming out that one at the bottom, pull it nice and tight. Okay, and then from there I'm actually going to move down into the vine, so going into that top bead of the vine and just moving down through a few beads, kind of as many as you can at one time. And it's just going to straighten it out so that it hangs nice. So we're coming out here and we're going down through the bead at the top of the vine. So just moving down and pull that through and make sure everything's pulled really nice and tight and that everything hangs correctly and you like how it all sits. And then you're going to tie your knots. So to do that, I keep moving down until I can move into one of the oranges. So that's what I'm doing. And then when I'm on the side of one of the oranges, I'll just tie my knots in the same way that I did before. And then everything will be all finished. Then all you need to do is go ahead and make the second earring, of course, so that you've got a pair, and it'll be all finished. So once you've cut off all your threads, then that's what your finished earrings should look like. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I think these turned out really cute. Please let me know if you do make them. You can share pictures with me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah and follow me there. Comment down below anything else you'd like to see on my channel, any tutorials you'd really like to see. I'm always open to suggestions, and like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching everyone, as always. See you next time. Bye!